Hey everybody, welcome. Today I want to talk to you about 3 ways to safeguard your marriage. It seems like ever since God declared that it is not good for man to be alone, Satan has worked very, very hard at destroying marriages in order to keep man and woman alone. Maybe that's why marriage is under such a diabolical attack today. Some experts are actually telling us that 1 out of every 2 marriages end in a divorce. Now, I am a firm believer that you can't win at life unless you're winning at home. So, after spending 20 amazing years married to my wife and best friend, I want to share with you the following 3 keys, 3 ways to safeguard your marriage. You ready? All right, here we go. Key number 1 is honor. Honor is the oxygen of every relationship, especially marriage. Denying your spouse honor is like denying them oxygen. Eventually, there's going to be an emotional and mental disconnect, and the relationship will die by means of emotional suffocation. Listen, there's no greater way to start showing honor to your spouse than by using your words. Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 21 says it this way: words kill, words give life. They're either poison or fruit. You choose. So, use your words to build each other up. Don't tear each other down. Resist the urge, even in the moment of disagreement or a heated argument. Do not tear one another down. Remember, words can either give life or death. Number 2, you've got to remember never to embarrass your spouse by publicly calling them out or quote-unquote throwing them under the bus. Don't do this. Nothing will communicate dishonor like this kind of public embarrassment or public humiliation or publicly speaking death or condemnation or something shameful over your spouse. Just don't do it. Make it a rule. You're not going to do it. And finally, since we generally find what we look for, don't look for something to complain about. Don't do it. Instead, look for the things in your spouse that you admire and are thankful for and compliment them. Bring those things up. Bring those things out. You can pull the best out of your spouse if you use your words and honor. So number 2, the second key to safeguarding your marriage is intimacy. Listen, sex is the best wedding present ever. I always say it like this: it's way better than a toaster or a picture frame. You know what I'm saying? Like, sex is God's gift to marriage. Every man or woman that enters into marriage, God gives them this incredible gift of sexual intimacy. It is the ultimate form of intimacy, and it is the ultimate form of transparency. It keeps you two connected. It keeps you close. And according to the Bible, it's something that is blessed by God Himself. Now, I got to pause here and say this. Now listen, sex is not a tool of manipulation. I see this happen all the time. I hear this happen all the time in marriages, and I think this is a horrible mistake. Oftentimes, I see people using sex as sort of a tool of manipulation to get their spouse to finish their quote-unquote honey-do list. But the Bible says that sex is a gift from God for both of you, not just one of you. It's a gift for both of you. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verses 3 through 4 says this: the husband should fulfill his wife's sexual needs, and the wife should fulfill her husband's needs. The wife gives authority over her body to her husband, and the husband gives authority over his body to his wife. When it comes to sex and marriage, perhaps the 2 greatest temptations are, number 1, to get you to start having sex before you're married, and then 2, to get you to stop having it after you're married. If life is too busy for sex, then life is just too busy. You need to rearrange your priorities to do whatever you have to do to protect your intimacy, all right? Listen, the last key to safeguarding your marriage is communication. Earlier, I told you that honor is the oxygen of every relationship. Well, communication is sort of the breath of every relationship. Because after all, it's possible to be surrounded by oxygen and still choose not to breathe. This is what happens when we don't learn how to communicate with our spouse. And remember that communication requires us to do 2 things: talk and listen. In fact, James chapter 1 and verse 19 says that we should all be quick to listen and slow to speak. So when it comes to any relationship, Too much silence can be deadly. So communication is absolutely key to safeguarding your marriage. Listen, something I teach all the time is this: Satan will always fill the silence. Anytime there's unnecessary silence in relationship, the enemy will swoop in, he will speak death, he will fill that space with all sorts of untruth and lies and all kinds of mistrust. Eliminate the silence with communication. Set time aside every day to simply talk and listen to one another. One of the things you can do, if you're busy, if you're both working or one or the other is working, throughout your day, write down like important things that you can share with your spouse when you get home at the end of the day. And this is just a way of you sharing life together and communicating. One of the most important things I think you can do is what I call deleting the distractions. It's learning to listen to one another by putting down that cell phone, closing that laptop, and genuinely listen to the person whom you love so much that you promise to spend the rest of your life with them. Listen, after God, the most important relationship in your life is the one that you have with your husband or wife. So protect it. This is how you can safeguard your marriage.